Good morning, everybody, and once again, welcome back to the channel. In this particular video, this is the part two. In the first part, we basically talked about processing data for multiple tenants, which approach you should probably take, whether you take a single table approach, partition by tenant ID, or you basically create a separate Iceberg table for each particular tenant. They both offer their pros and cons. So now in this particular video, I would like to focus on matrix. So for example, when you have jobs, right, you want to understand important metrics such as what is the total processing time it takes. Is the total processing time over the time, is it increasing or decreasing, right? This allows you to understand your data better, right? You also want to understand the merge into time, right? When you are performing merge into the Iceberg, right? What is the time what is the time that it takes, right? Over the time, what does the time look like? Is it going up or down? So those items we are very important to know, and here in this video I'll show you how to capture or monitor them using Prometheus and Grafana. So let me show you something quickly over here. If you see my screen here, if I refresh quickly, here you can see I can see total number of files I have processed is about 80 files. On an average, it takes about 22 seconds for the entire Spark job to complete, right? The average merge time is about 4.32 seconds. Total there, I have about 20 tenants. I can also basically, you see, I can drill down into the merge time per tenant. So I can identify which tenant is taking the most time. For example, sometimes some huge partner will send so much data that you want to understand like, okay, which tenant is taking the most amount of time. And then that way you can allocate more resources, right? So that's that. You can also, again, here you can clearly see, right? Tenant 11 and tenant 10 is taking most amount of time for merge into command, right? So you can get deeper insights into your job, right? So this is exactly what I will be showing you in this particular video. All right, so the first step is we need to spin up Prometheus and Grafana. I'll show you how to do that locally on the your machine. So here you can see I have a very simple Docker Compose file, and here you can see Prometheus and Grafana. We're going to spin that up using Docker Compose command. So head over to your project repository and issue a command Docker Compose up --build -d. This will start all the containers running in the background. Now the step 2 of the process is let's generate some mock fake data, and you can do that in the project repository. I have generate data files.py. So what we will do is we'll say Python 3 generate data files.py. This will generate a lot of Parquet files for multiple tenants in your S3 directory. So if I go to S3, I can see data and I can see all these folders popping up. Inside each folder, I see some Parquet files. So step 2, ensure that you generate some mock fake data. Okay, so now step 3 is basically verify whether your Prometheus and Grafana is running. So let's head over to your Chrome, head over to localhost 1990. Here you will see your Prometheus, and let's go to localhost, I believe 3000 is where you will see your Grafana, and try to put admin, click on login, and then again put admin, and here you will see now Grafana. So verify whether your Prometheus and Grafana is running in step number 3. Okay, so step 4 is the actual Spark job, and now let's take a look at how you can ship this matrix, right? So we will be leveraging a Python client library called Prometheus client, as you can see over here. Yes, you can see, right? Cool. Now again, I am keeping it simple for the project. I just want to monitor 3 things, right? Very simple. The merge time it takes for each particular tenant, right? So on S3, if you see, we have multiple tenants, as you can see over here. I want to see for each particular tenant what is the merge into time, right, in Iceberg, right? So that's one metric. Total process time, the entire Spark job, it took how much time, right? I want to monitor that. And the file process, simple, right? So 3 items I want to do. So now let's go to the main function. This is the function, the main function. So what it does, it creates a manifest file with all the S3 URI that you need to process. Then we read the data as a Spark data frame, we cache the data, we get all the list of unique tenants, and then for each tenant, we invoke a function called process tenant. This is going to create an Iceberg table. Here you can see it will first get the data for that particular tenant by doing filter operation on the main Spark data frame, and then for each tenant, it creates an Iceberg table and then performs a merge into command. So now the way you monitor the complete process time, if you see on the top, here, total process time is a variable, global variable. I defined that as a summary, as you can see, right? And now the only thing that you want to do In your main function, simply decore it at total process time dot time. That's it. Now it will do it on its own, right? So simply you have to decorate that. Now for the similarly for the merge into time, right? So I have a variable called merge duration, as you can see, right? And there you can see tenant, right? It takes a tenant, right? So now see how we do this part. So let's do Control F. So this is where we call the function merge into Iceberg, right? So I simply say with merge duration, that's the variable, dot labels. So we can add a label called tenant, tenant 1, tenant 2, tenant 3, so on, all these tenants, right? So that's the label that we add, dot time. That's it. Easy, right? And now let's take a look at the main function. So we start the HTTP server at port 8000. The address is going to be 0.0.0.0. We deliberately add a sleep so that Prometheus can scrape the matrix, right? So now what you need to do is first we will go to dashboard.json. You will probably have this in the project repository. Go to dashboard. Actually first click on connections, right? And then search for Prometheus here, and then click on Prometheus here, add data source, and then here you wanna add the data source http://prometheus:1990. Verify your connection. Looks like everything works fine, as you can see. Save and test. Okay, so that's done, right? So basically make sure you do this process, right? Now head over to dashboard, click on create dashboard, and then probably import dashboard, and then here paste the JSON that I gave you, right? So now click on load, import. Here you can see the dashboard has been created. Now let's run the job, right? So now Python 3 process. Oops, I think I have a typo there. So let me, okay, Python 3 process tenant.py. Okay, wait, what happened? So give me one sec. Oh yeah, on this terminal I have not exported my Java home, so I'm gonna use the terminal number 1. So let's Python 3 process. Okay, so now I have started my Spark job. So again, now what it will do is if you go to S3, you will see again, you can see a pending folder, right? And if I very quickly do query with S3 select over here, here you can see I see bunch of S3 URI, right? So it's gonna process that, as you can see. So now it is processing, and then once it is processed, it will archive those processed file, right? So now it is running. So once this is complete, you will see all the numbers being updated on your Grafana dashboard. But if you head over to localhost, I believe 8000/matrix, here you can see all the matrix, right? So for example, the tenant 16 took so much time, tenant 5 took this time, right? And then overall the total process, it will also print that particular component, right? So all the matrix, these matrix are going to be scraped by Prometheus, and then you can visualize that using Grafana, right? So let's wait. This should probably show up once the process is complete. Here you can see the process is complete, and now of course Prometheus will scrape these matrix, and our dashboard should be updated shortly. So let's wait for a couple of more seconds, and then see if we see these numbers on Grafana. Yeah, I think so. So if you look, if you come here now, as you can see, the process is still not complete, but we do see these matrix. So for example, we can see 80 files were processed. It took about 44 seconds. Average merge time is about 4.34 seconds. Total there are 20 tenants, which is absolutely correct. Here I can also see which tenant is taking most amount of time. Tenant 18, the average merge time is about 6 seconds, right? So see, you get a lot of insights into your data, right? So my, again, for beginners who are probably watching the video, it's a good exercise, right? There's a lot of concepts and items involved in this project. So you're doing an Iceberg table, there's something on Spark, then you're visualizing these metrics using Grafana and Prometheus. The code is there on my GitHub. So, I mean, I would say if you have some time, maybe on weekends, try this lab out. It's a great way to learn and explore items, right? With that being said, keep smiling, keep programming. And if you have any other questions, let me know, and I'll try my level best to answer them as and when I get time. Keep smiling, keep programming. And again, as usual, I'll see you in the next video.